This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the new Prologue EV, there's a lot that could impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Kroger Delivery has one mission: to deliver the freshest food right to your door. That's why our drivers are pros. Our trucks are refrigerated. And when it comes to low prices, we always deliver. With $20 off your first order of $75 or more, there's no better time to get in on the action. Mission accomplished. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?
What do you say? You weren't impressed with the home hockey team's journey to Winnipeg, huh?
No, I was not.
Yeah. Well, I turned it over like I do, just to check in, see how things are going. And I think it was 5-2, so I thought, well, I'll listen for a little while here. And then I was transfixed by Tony the Pony and Greeny trying to put lipstick on the pig, so I had to watch the rest of it there, the last 10 minutes or so, when it got to be 7-2.
It gets tough. It takes us back to what you said yesterday.
Yes.
The Twin Cities sports fans are not getting any straight dope from anybody.
No, they aren't getting the dope.
We don't get the dope. No. I want dope.
Poor Greeny was struck.
That's a Dick Cullum term.
Yes,
called
right.
it dope.
Poor Greeny was struck silent for about 3 minutes and then said, well, they haven't had time to practice. I don't know how he said it, but he suggested they haven't, because of all the traveling, they haven't had time to practice.
Meanwhile, Winnipeg was on a plane from San Jose.
Yes. I'll say one thing about Winnipeg. I was going to play a game with Reavers and Manny today that I occasionally play. Last year, when the Senators were in the Stanley Cup Finals, I played Name That Sen.
They weren't in the finals last year.
Or was it the semifinals?
Yeah.
They got beaten. Okay, they got beaten in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. I played Pittsburgh won the cup.
Name That Sen.
Name That Sen. And Manny named Alfredson, the defenseman who retired about 4 years earlier, but had played there for 20 years. And I was going to play Name That Jet. Now, Blake Wheeler, everybody can name Blake Wheeler, but I looked after 2 periods, and the guys that had their 4 goals, I never heard any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're pretty good.
Well, they're
well. You could have named the defender they got too.
Our guy Big Buff
Bufflin.
Yeah, he's a Warroad kid.
Yeah,
I think.
And he's got a ring with the Blackhawks. Mm-hmm. And then he got lost to salary cap issues from the Blackhawks.
Yes, one of the better interviews we had on the morning shows is when the Big Buff made a splash. We had Mom on and up in Warroad and. The Bufflin brothers up there. The Bufflin was his father's name, so that's not the family name. But there's about 3. She has about 3 brothers up there, and I asked some War Road people, and they said, "Yeah, the brothers have been known to get a couple of beers in them and go up to the bar and kind of take care of it." And somebody said, "Yeah, if they can't fight a fight, they fight with themselves." Right. Now, I don't want it. I'm sure they've matured out of that. I'm sure this was a reference. But he's a rough and tumble kid, and he was greatly influenced by his uncles up there in War Road.
He is a rough and tumble kid.
Big kid.
Yeah.
Big kid.
If they can't find a fight, they fight each other.
They big shot, too. He's a good. I think he got up to like 270 or so. I think they made him lose some weight. But anyway, that was not good. And to give up, 13 goals in 2 games. I wonder if they've ever done that.
Including 7 straight last night.
Did anybody research that? Have they ever given up 6 in back-to-back games? Because with Jacques, they got beat 3-1.
I'm sure they mentioned it on the FSN broadcast last night.
In 2 games, they've scored more than the Gophers football team has.
Yes,
in 2
that's
games.
true. That is true.
If we're looking for a bright spot, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think because they got 2 goals, and then what was the other one? 6 in St. Louis. It was 6-3.
6-3.
Right?
Yep.
So
Did we go into this season hopeful? And if so, what was the reason we were hopeful?
Gophers?
No, the Wild.
Oh, yeah. The owner said Stanley Cup or bust.
Well, they got no shot at a cup.
No.
None. They got no shot.
Well, it's the same thing they've been saying for 3 years is the young guys have got to grow and get better. And we like Coyle and we like Niederreiter and we like Granlund, but as Joe says, none of them's Jonathan Toews or Patrick Kane.
Where's your snipe?
We need a guy.
We need a guy that I can
gotta
tap
have a
on the
guy.
shoulder and say, will you get out there and get me a goal right now?
Okay, and now I got to come up with some bad news from Blackhawkville.
Uh-oh.
They got a 5'7", 19-year-old rookie named Alex DeBrincat. I don't know. I'm sure that's not how it's properly pronounced because it's D-E and then capital B-R-I-N-C-A-T. So he's got to be a Frenchie, doesn't he?
Sounds like
He's
it.
got to be a Frenchie. Where's he from?
Or a commie.
Well, he's from Michigan. He's a Michigan kid. So,
Well, he's an American.
but he's a rookie. 23 games, 10 goals. He got 3 last night. So he's just a rookie, and he's 5'7", and I guess he's fun.
Huh.
They love watching him zip around.
And they need youth on that team.
Yes, they do.
They're aging.
Yeah, they got rid of they brought Patrick Sharp back. They brought Sod back. Patrick Sharp, they brought him back just at a cheap contract, but he's good in the room. But this kid apparently is fun to watch. I saw a lot of comments about.
Wonder
him
if the
last
Wild
night.
got anybody that's good in the room. Is Suter good in the room?
I don't know who's
I don't
good
know
in the
either.
room. I don't really know.
They all seem kind of quiet, don't they? Mm-hmm. Maybe
Suter's a
Dumba.
little more outspoken. No,
Dumba or
Dumba's-
Stewart.
You can't be a team leader.
Without getting shots,
You can't be a team.
without getting goal.
You can't be a team leader, when you're giving up goals to the other team. You know, when you're doing dumb things that give up goals to the other team, you can't be a leader.
It's just how it plays out.
No, they got to lead Dumba. We have eyewitnesses that Dumba needs somebody to lead him, but we're not going to get into it.
I think he's a hell of a player. But he's not, as
he's
we
a
said
hell of a
earlier,
talent.
he's not troubled by thoughts.
No, he's got ability, but how many games does he finish where he did you more good than harm?
Well, I don't know his plus-minus rating.
Yeah.
Is he heavy on the minus, do you think?
I'm going to look that up.
It's probably better than Abby Dillon's, but
Well,
I'm not sure.
she should be drummed out of the league.
Yes, that's right. Minus 10 in one game.
And I
for goodness
was
sake.
pleased to see that you gave her grief for it.
Yes, I did.
Tortured her.
You're a
You're
minus 10.
minus 10. What are you doing?
You'll be 15. You won't be out of this hole. Career plus minus. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what he's. Judd is a great Wild. He's got the fan thinking as a Wild member. You know, the objective. You know what? He's like those guys who went to North Star games from the east side of St. Paul in their bar jackets.
Right.
Because they were critical thinkers.
Yep.
They were not. They were there to cheer when you did good and boo when you did bad.
Like Canadian fans.
Yes.
They just sit on their hands if they don't like
They
it.
thought they loved the game.
Yep.
And they thought they knew the game. And Judd is that way. And Dumba drives Judd crazy.
On the current Minnesota Wild roster, Matt Dumba sits in 5th place with a plus-minus of 10.
Plus 10?
Plus 10.
Plus
Wow.
10.
For
We
Matt
can't, we
Dumba.
can't
Who's their
lose
worst
him.
minus guy?
Hold on, let me scroll down.
Well, he
here.
looks in their last 5 games, though. He was Winnipeg, -3. St. Louis, -2. Colorado, -1.
And he's still plus
Wait,
10?
excuse me, +1. I read the
Okay,
wrong.
Oh,
category.
he's okay. That
But he
makes
is
more
in 5th
sense.
place.
So he
He's-
was on for 3 baddies last night.
Yeah, he was.
Might have been on for one of
As
them.
hard as it is to say, Matt Cullen is -9 for the Minnesota
Really?
Wild.
Yeah, but he's got to go out there and he's playing.
68 years old.
He's like when they had Bratz. He's like Bratz when they had Bratz playing with Gator and Stewie. You know,
Gradlin right behind him with a -7.
Bratz.
Who's their leading plus person?
Leading plus is Jonas Brodin with a +8. Zucker right behind him with 6.
I was writing something when Jock had Gabrick in the outhouse and he put him on the fourth line with these blacksmiths, you know, these guys that couldn't do anything.
The heavy-handers?
He was mad at him. And I was trying to think of who. I knew that Bratz was with Stewie Gavin, but I couldn't think of the other one. So I call his cell phone. He's at a horse show in Dallas with his
He's
wife.
always at a horse
He's
show.
at his wife at 11:15 at night. I says, Neil Ricey, who was that guy outside of Gavin that was playing with you? And he says, you called me for that? I said, yeah. And he says, Gator. I said, okay, thank you. Gaetan Duchesne, you know, was the other guy that he had him playing with. Gator. But
Is he full-time horse show? What the hell?
no, his wife's
He's always shoveling
owns
horses.
I
Sally.
think he shovels the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sally owns
Wisconsin.
horses. And,
Anything to stay in show business.
Anything to stay in show business.
Sure.
I suppose the Timberwolves have no easy task tonight.
well, John Wall, the best player on the Washington team, is not playing. He's injured, but they still have some players. They got Bradley Beal, who's another guard, but they've gotten some breaks this year playing teams missing their better players. When they played San Antonio, Kawhi Leonard hasn't been playing. Who'd they play the other night? Phoenix they played the other night, and their best player wasn't playing, so... They've had their share of breaks here, but they should beat Washington as they head out on a little road trip.
They go to at New Orleans tomorrow night, at OK City on Friday.
OK City is they brought in Carmelo Anthony, they brought in Paul George to go with Russell Westbrook, and they're under 500, and it's got to be a panic city down there because they brought in these high-profile free agents, hoping they could make a push in the playoffs, maybe get the Western Conference Finals, and then those guys would stay to play with Russell Westbrook. But they did get Russell signed to a big long-term contract. I think he took $220 million is what his contract was.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He
Then
accepted that, so that was nice of him.
the Wild have the expansion Vegas club in here Thursday.
I may go. I think I'm going to make my debut.
Yeah.
And we can't call them Las Vegas, right? Even the standings say
Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas.
The
I'd hate
Golden
to see him
Knights.
lose to an expansion team.
Oh, but the team's
They're playing well.
great. Well,
Yeah.
the guy gave him $500 million. They gave him a pretty good roster. You could only protect 11.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they got 30 good players. And then they made a bunch of trades and stuff. So
Then they got evil
gonna-
St. Louis in here for the 5 p.m. start
Yes.
on Saturday.
Ooh, that would be a tough ticket. That's a perfect time to play on a Saturday,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep.
5 o'clock. TV might not like it. Hey, look at the standings. Is Vegas? They were second in the division or something. They were 5-0, something like that.
Let me find
They're
it.
having a good year. They've been a surprise.
I'll find it.
Well, then you got to put your readers on. for
No,
God's
I don't
sake.
need readers anymore.
Oh, that's right. You something happened to you.
I can't see far away. Mm-hmm. Where in the hell do you got it in this paper?
Well, you got to find the page where they got
Right toward the back.
NHL scores.
This is
Right in the back
This is
there.
entertaining radio.
It is, actually.
I got it.
Okay.
What are we looking for again?
NHL scores.
Yeah,
I got
a
it.
ball.
Here we go.
There we go.
Vegas.
Now we're rolling, folks. Sit down.
Vegas.
Vegas, first place.
First place
First place, Vegas.
in the Pacific Division, right?
Yeah, they have 31 point.
Okay.
They're 15.
Il gagne souvent. They win often.
They're 15, 6, and 1.
Okay, that's pretty dang good
The
for
Golden
an expansion
Knights.
team. Yes. We ought to go out there except the Wild don't play there till March. If they were playing in the dead of winter, it would be
Yeah,
a good
that's
excuse
a
to go
sports
out there.
talk's got to go on the road to Vegas.
That doesn't irritate you at all? These newcomers
What?
doing so
bottom.
well? That bothers me.
That's all right.
I find that upsetting.
Well, you want them to be like Columbus and the Wild and be bad for the first 5 years, and
the first 3. The third year, we were in the finals.
That's right.
That's true.
Western
Yeah, I take that
Conference
back.
Final.
Unfortunately, that was 30, 40 years ago.
03.
14 years ago. It'll be 15 years ago this spring. That seems like a long time.
This will be interesting if they were. Now I'm not predicting this, but there's a chance they miss the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs, will there be some fall off? They had 98% renewal of season tickets this year.
Mm-hmm.
Would we get
Optimism.
Would we get down there like 85 or something? Would it fall off?
Royce, I heard you talking about Judd earlier in the program. Did you hear the opening minutes of the Mackey and Judd
I missed
show?
that.
Classic meltdown?
Was he crazy?
It was fantastic. It was so good. I love when Judd gets on them when they're doing bad. But when, like earlier in the year, they were like, not too bad. And Judd was in here all panicked and upset. And we're like, calm the hell down, Goopy. But now he was just off the rails this morning. It was fantastic.
So on the hot, crazy Matrix, he'd be in the no-go zone?
He was ripping everybody, including the coach, which I
He's
think
bad
was
at
needed.
Boots, too.
Yeah.
I worry about Boots' health, don't you?
Well,
First
It's
of
a
all,
little red.
he looks like, who's the train guy?
Sir
The
Topham
conductor.
Hatt.
He looks like
Yep.
the train conductor in Thomas the Train.
Yep.
Fat little guy.
Without the
Face.
top hat.
Yeah,
The
with
train conductor and Thomas the Train.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine.
He looks just like Sir Topham Hatt.
Ask your grandkids; they'll tell you
it's
about
a cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And somebody started sending that out last year of him. He looks exactly like him, Sir Thomas Tat, but with high blood pressure. I don't know if Sir Thomas has high blood pressure or not. But when they were scoring those goals in the third period, every time they showed him on the bench, he'd be another shade brighter.
Yeah, darker
He
red,
was-
right.
Yeah,
He's one of the easiest guys to lip read, too.
Yeah, he is
Make
too.
no mistake.
You see, Joe, Sir Topham
He
Hatt.
enunciates, doesn't he?
Sir Topham Hatt uses the phrase, you got to make yourself useful. That's his big message to all the
really?
trains.
Kenny
Yeah.
has that message.
I have that
sometimes.
message too for menage a trois.
Well, maybe
Maybe that's his deal.
yeah, right. When he's not on
yourself
television.
God, I know
Find
my
something to
God.
do.
Kenny, I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Well, you got to print out a picture of.
I'll
Sir
pull it up on
Topham
my,
so,
I'll
Joe
pull it up on my
can,
computer.
Joe can see what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I have
here.
to see this.
Oh yeah, but Boots. Yeah, I do love hockey coaches. Lip reading hockey coaches is fun. 'cause
And this
they're-
guy is very easy to read.
Yeah.
Very easy.
I'll be in a second, Joe. Hang on.
There's no mistaking that he calls into question many of the referees' decisions.
This morning though, Judd was going off on Suter too.
Okay.
And
I
how
don't need him for up
the Wild now are turning into the Wild that drove Yossi out.
This is Boudreaux.
Yeah.
This guy, Thomas Tatum, or whatever the hell his name is. What's his name?
Sir Topham.
Sir Top Hat?
Goes by the name of Sir Topham Hatt. No
Sir Topham Hat. Here he is, right here.
one him you can rely. So sing along
That sounds like Dr. John.
with Sir Topham Hatt song.
If it is, it's one of Dr. John's better efforts.
With Sir Topham Hatt song. Listen up. It's a
Those kids would be surprised if Sir Topham Hatt started talking like Boods
Do you
did.
yeah, right. Shut up, you little.
Sports Talk will return shortly, but
So, I really hate to talk over this music. I neglected to mention that northbound 35W is slowing a little bit right around County E2 or so, or even at County D 88, and riding the brakes all the way up to County I, where we have a right shoulder meet and greet. Turn it up, Matthew. Let's hear this.
I was the third brother of five, doing whatever I had to do to survive.
here's John Height.
Thank you, Joe. It's sunny and down to 50 degrees now. Timberwolves in action tonight. Washington in town for a game at the Target Center. The Wizard star, John Wall, is out for a couple of weeks. He has a knee injury. He won't be playing this evening. Both Nemanja Bjelica and Jeff Teague took a limited part in this morning's shoot-around. Both will warm up tonight pregame, and then they'll decide whether or not they will play.
Who needs Teague? Who needs Teague? We got Tyus.
Oh, it's across 110th Street.
Yes. You thought it was
What happened?
Who said that?
Stupid cracker.
Can you dig it? I thought I was waiting for that. Can you dig it? I thought it was going to be.
Oh, my God.
Sammy
One
D.
of the most classic soul songs in the history of the world.
What do you think, it's Sammy Davis?
Can you dig it, man? Hey, man, can you dig it?
Sammy actually did record a version of Chef.
Thanks,
He
FYI.
did.
I can dig it.
He did.
Think he digs it?
Rookie, I love you.
Thanks for the help on that one, Reeves. Appreciate it.
I'm kind of stunned at this moment.
But you besmirched
Hey, babe,
one of the
the
coolest.
Candyman can, so can Shaft.
Can you dig it?
Yikes.
Can you take it, man? But Jerry, these kids, really, Jerry,
NFL notes.
nobody said Baruch atah Adonai better than Sammy Davis, baby.
Okay, Steelhead, shutteth ye up.
Hey, shalom, baby.
You know, Jerry's dead. He wants his shoes back.
Where the hell is Jerry, man? Every Labor Day I show up and nobody's here.
Your Sammy's kind of turned
Yeah,
into
don't make me do more Sammy.
turned
Limited
into Kermit
doses.
the Frog.
I haven't done it for years. So.
Good thing Caliendo's not on today.
Hey, you're doing somebody, Rook. We
Shoot
just
my
don't know
hands
who.
down again.
You're right. If Sammy turned into Kermit.
NFL note. Eli
They
Manning.
each had one eye.
Nice.
Eli Manning has been benched.
Oh, no.
The Giants will be starting Geno Smith.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my
This
God.
Sunday.
Hey, Al, what would you do if your wife, Franny, was getting her picture taken and you were taking it and the guy she was having her picture taken with took liberties with Franny's behind?
I'd say, first you make a choice. I mean, Franny and I'd say if you want to fight,
You're doing Peter Thiel.
But the problem with that is when I listen to interviews with Al, I'm going, Al, you're doing Peter Thiel.
Al Franken is from here. He heard Peter Thiel on the airwaves 30 years ago, and now he decided
talks
that's
just
the
like
voice
him.
I'm going to use.
So Al's saying Franny has a nice fanny. Is that what Al was trying to say there?
You want me to sing, babe?
The move will end Manning's string of 210 consecutive regular season starts. That's the second longest streak in NFL history behind Brett Favre's.
Isn't he making like
97.
$26 million?
Yeah,
or
a lot
something
of
like
money.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
that? Oh, he stinks.
He's not very good anymore.
He's washed up.
But I think they're trying to hit him upside the head and see if he'll shape up.
I will say, though, that there really was a great ad campaign with those two brothers, hitting each other, cuffing each other upside the head for whatever. I don't even
Manning
remember what
brothers.
the product. Yeah, the
Manning
Manning
brothers,
brothers.
yeah.
When those two were together, it looked like a great sibling rivalry.
Which one's getting benched?
Eli.
Well,
Eli.
one's retired.
Peyton's
so-
retired.
Peyton's retired.
And Archie
can't
hasn't
bench
played
him.
for a while.
Archie's not in the league.
Archie's, News notes from today. A rescue operation had to be launched this morning after the St. Paul Fire Department said 8 individuals defied a city public works employee and entered a cave along the banks of the Mississippi. A technical rescue team responded to the scene, found the 8 individuals described as being in their mid to late teens. After about 20 minutes, no injuries reported aside from some minor scrapes and bruises.
Well, did they call for help?
No,
They chased him in there, right?
a public works employee had spotted the group before
Don't
it
go
entered
in
the
there.
cave.
And the kid said,
Well, they owe the public works employee a debt of gratitude because they're idiots. They could have suffocated.
The 8 were escorted out of the cave.
Okay,
turned over
Dad.
to police.
Our mom.
Why weren't they in school?
Stay the hell out of my cave.
Get off my lawn.
And get off my lawn.
We ought to get some wild animals to move into there,
Okay.
those caves, and to keep those kids out of it.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a thought.
Beware of
Looking like
wild
lions
I
or-
am the public service guy. Hey, we got wild animals in there that will chase you down. And you only have to be the second slowest.
Any serpents, sir?
Serpents.
Yeah, just load the thing up with snakes.
Wild animals.
Get some pack of wolves down
Yeah,
there.
just put wolves in the cage.
Yesterday we threw in a pack of wolves. They're not that wild, but there are some other wild animals.
What's going to keep the animals in, sir? Because the animals could just
feed 'em.
leave. Feed him
raw
kids.
steak. Here's how we feed him a big T-bone steak. Here, wild animals. There you go.
He's now flinging a steak.
Flinging the steak into an imaginary cave. Into an imaginary cave.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Get that wolf-loving babe with the billboards to go tend to him.
crazy
And there are
town,
naked women wearing wild fur. Wait a minute. No, that's the other cave. That's the one on the left.
Authorities allege a dispute over a pre-Thanksgiving dinner crack pipe.
Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen.
This sounds like a really pleasant Thanksgiving.
Did you hear
Listen to
this touching
Yeah, it's
story?
very
Okay.
touching.
This is
What a
awesome.
Thanksgiving this was.
Okay.
Authorities allege a dispute over a pre-Thanksgiving dinner crack pipe led to the murder of a 69-year-old man.
Yeah. But listen to the reason. And this is going to remind you of Brockmeyer, right?
Yes, okay.
47-year-old Anina Marie Hare was charged with second-degree murder without intent in connection with the death of Edward Khalif last Thursday.
He was 68, huffing on the pipe.
Way to go, buddy.
According to the criminal complaint, officers summoned to an apartment on the 5700 block of 33rd Avenue South after getting 4 911 calls from Hare. Upon arrival, they located Khalif face down in the living room near a broken window and other signs of struggle. He was taken to an area hospital where he was pronounced dead.
How'd she kill him?
The release alleges Hare told authorities she invited Khalif over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay, we're going okay.
What a
We're
pleasant.
looking
So
good
far,
now.
so good.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's waiting to go through the door. He's waiting to go through the door frame and see a nice Thanksgiving motif on the table with the cornucopias, and he's got nice
Hors d'oeuvres
fall-themed
laid
colors.
out,
Yes.
bowl of cranberries.
Smoked oysters. Here we go. So far,
Now
so
what
good,
happened?
John.
Now what happened?
Before they ate, though, she noticed him lighting up a crack pipe.
Sure. You got to do something before dinner.
She reportedly said she became angry because he did not ask permission to smoke the crack,
Okay.
and he did not offer to share.
I think it was the latter. I think it was the latter reason.
She allegedly.
And first, greedy.
Oh my God!
She
I've
then,
been slaving all day making turkey, cranberries, and cornbread.
I'm seeing one of those foil-covered TV dinners.
Swanson.
Yeah.
she then stood, according to police reports, she stood in front of the apartment with a television antenna in one hand and a butcher knife in the other.
All right.
In her
Come
words,
at me, dude.
in her words, an attempt to be dominating.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She then
That would have
told,
worked with me.
You got to see her photo. Oh,
I did.
she told Khalif he couldn't leave, at which time he began yelling, for the neighbors to call 911. She said he then grabbed a vacuum cleaner and broke the window out with it. Hare said then she grabbed him around the shoulders and fell on top of him. Khalif attempted to get the knife out of her hand, but after being face down for a while, she said he simply started snoring.
I wonder if he was gurgling his last.
This is the greatest story I've ever heard in my life.
The complaint states the autopsy report listed his cause of death as homicidal violence.
You know, you drive down that 34th area of South Minneapolis down around the crosstown, and you look at every building and every apartment, and you just drive by, you go, crack house, crack house, crack house, crack house, crack house.
But you can get a good deal on them.
Yeah, but I feel sorry for the homeowners in that
neighbors.
area.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing that we're missing on this story, though, is the 911 beer call. We don't have somebody calling about the 911.
Right.
He didn't offer me meth or something like that.
That mess all I got.
Hey, Johnny, did she stab him then, or what?
All they're saying is homicidal violence. They haven't released the actual what the damage was.
But if he started snoring,
Well, I think that might have been
Kenny's
that
right.
might have been the death gurgling. Yeah, I think he was expiring. At
That's
that point.
that's a really pleasant story.
Happy
is a-
Thanksgiving.
I thought we had a pouring taste.
A Russian man has died after posing for a picture with a hand grenade after he took the pin out.
Attaboy.
Okay.
Attaboy.
Alexander Sasha Chechik had sent an image to his friend showing himself holding the grenade moments before it detonated, killing him instantly.
There's a lot of dumb people around.
Was that on
here.
Thanksgiving too?
A graphic police picture showed the carnage. Moments earlier, one friend had just messaged him saying, "Where are you and are you okay?" Police say he had sent several images to friends where he posed with a hand grenade, and police say they don't think he intended to take his life. He just wasn't very smart. He
So
said,
he didn't know what this little hook was in there? That
Well,
Like me, he was a slow thrower.
he sent a picture of the grenade in his hand to his friends with the pin removed. Friends kept sending him messages. Where are you? Are you okay? Police found these on his phone after the fact.
there wasn't much of him left, I'll bet. Huh?
It was the picture they had blotted out. Basically, his middle section was gone.
So that's pretty well.
That's always been a great fear of mine: accidental suicide due to stupidity.
I wonder why his phone survived.
That's one hell of a phone.
That's a
I
good
want that
question.
phone.
That's
Yep.
a really good
Police said they think Mr. Chechik expected the grenade would not explode if he didn't throw it.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
He wasn't very
If
smart.
he had the handle depressed, it wouldn't, right?
I don't know how that works.
Of course, I'm thinking American grenades. Who knows what those guys
That's
are
like
built.
commie grenade.
Yeah.
I wonder when Russian Thanksgiving is, because in Canada it's in October.
I'm not sure.
Maybe they don't have one.
Well, what
There's
the hell do
nothing
they have
get
to be
thanks-
thankful
I
for?
don't know.
I'll look it up.
Vodka.
Doctors in India treating a man who complained of stomach pain found 263 coins and 100 nails in his stomach. Dr. Priyank Sharma said the patient was complaining of stomach pain, so we thought of getting an endoscopy done. We were shocked to discover that coins, nails, and nuts and bolts were in his stomach. The doctor said the patient worked as a rickshaw driver. And after developing severe depression, he would sometimes swallow coins that he received from passengers.
Well, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's not.
Dr. APS Garawar said usually people start eating abnormal things under certain psychological conditions.
Yeah, like 14 Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Well, who would do that?
Yeah.
He had been eating metal for a year, the doctor said, but didn't tell anyone. It's not clear how long the patient had been ingesting metal, but doctors were able to remove the object as soon as they started causing bleeding, thereby preventing any serious damage. The doctor said he should be out of the hospital after
What
a
are we
going to
do about his head, though? What are we going to do about the depression?
I would think
Johnny?
they'll send
we
him
gotta
to a
put
doc.
him on drugs there.
Such, you ever work your way through an entire pumpkin pie, start to finish?
No, I don't like pumpkin pie.
Yeah, don't.
You don't like pumpkin pie. You
No.
don't like turkey.
I don't. I think
What
it's
is
all
wrong
overrated.
with you?
It's all overrated.
How about
What'd you eat
mincemeat
on?
pie? You like
No,
mincemeat
no,
pie?
What'd you eat on Thanksgiving? Hot dogs?
Peanut butter sandwich. No, I eat the whole meal. I'm just saying. I think turkey's overrated. Mm-hmm. So's tiger. For that
Yeah.
matter.
Hey, Johnny, I got to bring something up here.
Yes.
I just was telling Joe about this. I was looking at a story that's out that the soccer stadium, they've promoted some kid to be the general manager of the new soccer stadium.
The cranes are in the
The
air over there.
Allianz Stadium.
Sure.
And Chris Wright, who came over from the Timberwolves to be the president, referred to it as the iconic
Foghorn
Allianz
that
Stadium.
Rook
Yeah,
already.
that- It's not even,
Iconic.
it's not
And
even built
There's
yet.
a hole in the
built yet,
ground.
and it's already iconic.
No, that's
That's
not
foghornable.
I can't wait to see that, Brett, and give him hell.
Iconic.
It's the iconic stadium.
There should be a year. There should be a number of years
Yes.
before anything turns iconic.
Like 1,000.
Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Wrigley Field. Fenway Park.
But you can't use the word anymore because it's meaningless.
No, it is me.
Meaningless.
Kenny's attempt at eating 15 Chick-fil-A. That was an iconic day in
Iconic.
broadcasting.
Were they here today? Was Chick-fil-A here today?
No.
Oh, this is a couple weeks
I've
ago.
managed to miss it every time they're here.
We try not to call you so we can save more for Kenny.
We had something a couple of weeks ago here, too. I went off the rails.
Hey, well, no. It was Red Savoy Pizza, and I was
That's
gone.
Yeah.
I'm sitting talking up Red Savoy, and they
that
deliver
good?
when I'm
It was
gone.
very
That's it,
good.
Rook. It was delicious.
That's when you went to that Arby's in Manhattan.
That's right.
I had to use the company wheelchair to get to my truck.
And shout out to Chick-fil-A. If you do a drop again, Kenny wants you just don't even bring the buns. just bring the chicken.
Just bring the
A Florida man drew his gun during a road rage incident and then accidentally shot himself.
Okay, good.
Deputies said two drivers stopped at an intersection in Orlando, got out of the vehicles, and began arguing. One of the men pulled his gun out because he felt threatened, according to deputies, and then accidentally fired the weapon, hitting himself in the leg. Not life-threatening. He won't be charged with anything because he was legally carrying the weapon, according to police. and he didn't threaten anybody.
I'm telling you, get yourself a can of wasp killer or mace or something far more effective than any firearm. Keep your stupid firearm in the holster. Use the mace. It works so well.
Hey, Patrick, it doesn't look like we celebrate Thanksgiving in Russia, but we do have on December 17th every year, we have Strategic Missile Troops Day that we celebrate.
That sounds fun.
Very important. Yeah. The Santa Claus at the Dufferin Mall in Toronto was faced with a lot bigger dilemma than an ornery child this week. An adult woman was challenging his identity. This was all caught on tape. She yelled, "Do you have a sleigh?" "No, you bleeping bleep head."
You not Santa?
She then yells for security to come and remove him because he's obviously not the real Santa.
Not the
Got
real
no
Santa.
sleigh.
She's heard yelling, "You're not even real. I heard about it when I was a young kid." The security guards eventually end up speaking with the woman who kept going on her profanity-laced argument, saying, "You're not magic. You're not real." Eventually, security walks her off the area. No word of
Do we have
The news is a compilation of screwed up people.
Yes, it is. Do we have? Did we take her off someplace where we can do a little electric shock or something?
I would assume so. They're not saying if she was arrested. In response to the woman, not surprisingly, Santa can be seen on the video sitting on his couch and continues to stare at the woman in disbelief as her tirade continues.
I worked a gig once at Rosedale as the Santa. I never had such severe anxiety.
What?
attacks. Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
How'd that? What?
I did it to get a column out of it. My own kids didn't know who I was, and I told them, "You're getting nothing."
Wow.
I started crying. I said, "That's why you're getting nothing. You keep that up."
Oh my God. That's the worst story I've ever heard.
Yeah. What good are they if you can't give them grief?
Man, I'm jealous.
I'm jealous. Beat you to the punch,
You're the
Patrick.
only one that would be jealous, you old bastards.
Jealous, you know. All I've done is taunted my granddaughter about being a -10.
Yeah.
They all turned out relatively normal, too. I'm surprised, Joe.
Very good. He set high standards.
They're
for
all
them.
high achievers, and that one kid wanted something. I said, "We don't even make that anymore."
But see, that set them up for their sensitivity level, the kids you used to have, because when Pat called and said, "Hi, this is Freddy Krueger. Is your dad home?" and the one child went, "Ah!" And the CP said, "Patrick, you."
She was mad at me.
And isn't this how science fiction movies start? Bacteria discovered on the surface of the International Space Station may not be from Earth.
How could that be? How could that be?
A
Well, I
Russian,
guess it could be because it's not from Earth.
There you go.
Russian cosmonaut making that claim, Anton Schlachbarov.
Oh, him.
He said the living bacteria harvested from the metal skin might be extraterrestrial.
All right.
No word, official word, of course, just coming from that one cosmonaut.
All right, Johnny.
What's coming up on the ride?
Oh, man, we're in good shape. Adam Rittenberg covers college football for ESPN, and crazy, crazy stuff going on with coaching changes in college
The season's
football.
over, right?
Well, the regular season's over.
Regular
we have
season's
the
over.
playoffs this week, the championship games like Wisconsin, Ohio State, but we have all these coaching changes and millions of dollars being paid to fired coaches, and we're going to talk to Adam Rittenberg about that. And then our weekly conversation, always good, with Rich Gannon on the NFL, and then a few other hot topics, including we'll break down the Wild's embarrassing performance. So.
Atlanta really needs to win that game Sunday,
Yes,
don't they?
they do. They do.
That should make it interesting.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's indoors.
Yeah, in
I
a
root
new
for outdoor
stadium.
games,
They
yeah.
blew up a 22-year-old
Right,
stadium.
right.
Yeah.
1500 ESPN is KSTP, St. Paul, Minneapolis. It's 52 degrees. The ride with Royce is next.